I am Shara Andrews, and this is Lotus Living. Hey, y'all!
Hey!
Yes, I'm so excited to have some women in here that I love and adore and appreciate and admire. So we're going to get right into it. This first segment is called Talk Your Shit. I do not introduce my guests. My guests introduce themselves. This is your opportunity to tell us whatever it is you want to tell us about yourself. Big yourself up. The person you want to talk about, whatever. Whatever. Your accomplishments. Who are you? Who are you? Talk your shit. Who are go first?
All right. So I am Madeline Cherie Barrios. I am an awesome mother of 3 boys. I am a proud boy mom. Come from so many backgrounds. Grew up in the ghetto, but no longer the ghetto is around me. So I elevated my mindset out of the ghetto. Growing up with crackhead parents, I was determined not to be a statistic, even though that I was a teen mom, but I was not going to be that crackhead mom. You know, so I take pride in myself in, you know, a mindset building throughout my whole childhood life, and I am who I am today because of all of those struggles. I don't regret none of it. So if it's tea to some, it's a testimony to me.
Yes.
You know? So
yes. That is.
So coming from dropping out of high school, well, middle school first, and then high school. Went back and got my GED, got a career in the health field, and then I retired early. I retired at the age of 36 to jump out on faith into entrepreneurship. So now I run a multi service company, servicing business owners, just the whole nation, you know, really, because I help people with credit, business credit, mortgage loans, anything pertaining to finances. So I had to learn the hard way, coming from my childhood and not being, you know, that like whole poor mindset and stuff. So I had to change that for it to be my strength right now. So that's what I did. So I had turned my upside downs into mornings.
Yes.
So that's who I am, and that's
awesome.
Yes.
All right.
Ooh, I gotta follow that.
Oh, yes, shit. Yes, yes.
I am national best-selling author Tracy T. Cooper. I am a celebrity ghostwriter, content writer. I am the author of 9 best-selling novels and journals. I am a hope dealer, renowned public speaker.
Talk your shit.
And I am also the founder of Girl Secure Yourself, which is now known as Unapologetically Woman. It is a foundation that is all about helping women to find their foundation and to stand in whatever stead they're in and understand that you are unapologetically woman in any facet of your life.
yes.
Yes. I'm here for it all. Listen, if we don't tell people who we are, I find that people will define us by whatever they think, they believe, they perceive. And so this is like my most favorite piece of the show, because can't nobody tell me who I am.
That's it.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you who I am.
Yeah.
You can't tell me outside of my higher power. Nobody knows me better than me. At the end of the day, some people can come close. Some people can have an idea, but you really don't know me. And so, you know, I love to give my guests the opportunity to tell us who you are, because I can't do it. You do it best. So yes, thank you. A lot of Black girl magic. I love it. So yes, well, first of all, thank you so much for coming. I'm excited for this show. Of course, I'm new to the podcast world. You are my second guest on the show, so that is important to me on top of the relationship that I have with both of you. And we're going to get right into the tea.
That's it.
So both of you are entrepreneurs, have businesses, multiple business ventures. What have you found to be the most challenging aspect of being a business owner?
My most challenging aspect as a business owner is to own my worth. Because we all know that these business streets are tricky.
Ooh.
And a lot of times we want to accommodate our customers when it comes to pricing, when it comes to services and offering those services, right? So what I shy away from, I can eyeball and be like, oh, I can't charge them what I charge them. You know what I mean? And so my biggest issue has been consistently saying that this is the price, right? And so until June of this year, I would waver when it came to pricing because I wanted to get the customer. I wanted to be able to continue to stand alone as a business owner without having to pick up other streams of income. So I would just accommodate anybody. And I found that it was very ghetto. Very, very ghetto. Because when you take your price down, a lot of times you're dealing with a quality of person that you would not otherwise have to deal with if you kept one consistent price across the board. So that has been my biggest challenge.
Yeah, I think that's a challenge with a lot of entrepreneurs, even for myself. I can relate to that aspect of your worth.
Yes.
Being able to charge your worth. Honestly, if I gotta talk my shit, nobody can pay me for what I'm worth. That's number one. However, we, numerically have an idea based on industry standards, our ethics, whatever the case may be, as to what we would charge for a particular service. And so it does concern me a lot of times, like until I was able to get an actual team of people, a financial team, a chief business development officer to say, sure. So when do you want to raise your price? When do you want to do this? I had never really considered it, just because there is a certain population that I'm attempting to reach, and I know just by statistics alone that population can't afford the pricing of therapy for the other colleagues of mine and other people in this industry are charging. So I wanted to make sure that I was setting my price to be reasonable and attractive. And one of the mistakes that I made, in my own ignorance, when I was first starting out in private practice, is I assumed that individuals who received like insurance from welfare, state insurance, couldn't afford therapy.
Right.
So I was seeing them for free. So, my goal is accessibility. That's the platform of my practice, accessibility. So I wanted to make mental health treatment accessible. So I would see them at no charge. And then over time, I was like, with just educating myself, exposure, talking to my colleagues, like you ladies and other individuals in the industry, it was like, well, how there are people that are on state insurance that have jobs, that work. So I, in my own ignorance, made an assumption.
Right.
So I started to ask people, how much can you afford? And to my surprise, it wasn't really too far from what I was charging in private pay at the time. So it wasn't for not all of the pro bono work. It was for the community. But it's a lesson learned. Like, you really don't know until you say something, until you ask. I think there's a difference between, charging your worth and being fair to yourself with the quality services and products that you provide, and then just being over the top. We can be reasonable and still charge our worth, and I have no problem working with people, but, where another person won't pay your private pay rate, another person will pay, and probably even more. So yeah, that's definitely significant. What about you, Maddie?
I would say consistency is the most because it ain't gonna work itself, you know. Like on the job, we can be consistent with showing up, but are we really doing it? You know, so doing this journey here was like, okay, I got to really work this thing every single day, and bills ain't going to get paid without it, you know. Right. So I had to really like fight through that, and it's like a roller coaster, you know. Yeah. You just so like gone whole for like a whole week, a month, 2-3 months, and then it's like, like I am just so tired because you doing it alone, So building a team to go ahead and delegate tasks is, really do help, but the consistency part is definitely a challenge, I mean, it's so much better now, but when I first started, it was like, oh my goodness, like I really gotta show up. Like I'm like, oh wait. I was like, oh, okay. So, but so that piece right there.
Consistency. A place I struggle. Mm-hmm. And I've really been owning my lack of consistency to turn it into intentional action.
Intentional.
This is the season of radical intention for me.
Right.
To be radical, to get the change that I need, and to be intentional about it. I've always struggled with consistency, and especially now, as entrepreneurs, there are so many ways that you at this point are supposed to promote yourself and sell your services and sell your products. You got Instagram, and then you got this platform, and then you have that platform. That it's a lot, especially for a person like me who is not a tech. I just. It's so overwhelming. Then you got to do the TikTok page, and then you got to do. Oh my God, I'm just so overwhelmed.
And I'm not taking or talking.
Listen. It's a lot. It's tiring. It's overwhelming. What keeps you going?
I go to the flyest neighborhoods there are in New Jersey, in Delaware, in any city that I'm in. I want to look at the biggest houses. Okay, that's what keeps me motivated. Since I was very, very young, I always knew the kind of life that I wanted to live. Like I always knew the kind of people that I idolized, and that is what keeps me motivated. Like when I take my boys out, or I take my godsons out, I take them to see stuff that they normally would not see, because I want them to know that there is more to aspire to. So I feel like you gotta continuously ignite that thing that was in you as a child. That's what keeps me going.
Right. Yeah. My sons, they keep me going, and I definitely don't want to live a life that I had in my childhood, and I don't want that for them. I don't even want to come close, not even a little snippet, like not even a, so they definitely keep me going, so I gotta have more for them.
Yeah, I agree. The little people will do it to you.
Yes, they will.
Yeah, as much as I want it for myself,
right,
I can't help but think of, the legacy potentially I'm leaving behind for my children. So I definitely understand that. In the environment of, because it seemed like after COVID or during COVID, I don't know about you, but there seemed to be this boom of entrepreneurs. This boom of people who, started businesses and ventures and, all of those other things, whether credible or not. It was like everybody had a business. So what motivated you, because I know I have the knowledge to know that you started your businesses way before COVID. But what motivated that idea that I no longer want to work for someone, or no longer want to work for someone full time? I want to, I have my own dreams and aspirations, and I want to be, the owner of that. What motivated that ideal for you?
Well, I can say for me, it was very personal. I was on medical leave, when I had the thought of really like, listen, I got to stop. Like, I got to stop this. For one, finances, like they wasn't paying what I needed. Even though the industry in the nursing field, it is broad. It is like, like you can make six figures, but you cannot be no millionaire. And that's who I am, So, I mean, so I had to really think outside the box and then just step out on faith. But also, my youngest son needed me home. So I had to really make up that mind and then say, look, he needs me home. He was diagnosed with on the spectrum, and they said that he wasn't a verbal. So I'm like, wait a minute, I got to do something. Daycare is not going to go ahead and do that, So I had to really make a move. So I had so I just did it, but I definitely love that I did, because I would have been stuck on them saying, when can I go to the bathroom? I had to listen, y'all, look, I had to literally write on the wall saying, when was I going to the bathroom? Like, seriously. And then what? And then being told, no, that I can't go to the dentist. No, I can't go to this and that. Like, I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
Like, I need my health. Like, I'm sitting here taking care of other people in their health.
Yeah.
And I can't take the time that I even have, time on, in the books. But y'all still saying, no. I know my worth, and I'm out of here, So they were very mad that I left, A part of me wanted to stay because that's where my heart is, but I am still serving people, doing what I am doing now. So then my son really needed me, and I'm so glad, because COVID hit, and so many of my coworkers, they gotten sick and some quit or whatever like that. But I was able to help my son overcome being nonverbal,
Wow.
So that's the whole reward that I got from that. So
Yes.
I'm not a good subordinate, y'all. I don't take orders well.
And that's
I just don't.
That's it.
And it don't. The year before COVID, I had a broken ankle got hurt at work. And so I had a boot on for about 9 months or so. So I was at home with my boot, right? And I got so used to my own routine, my own schedule, doing my own thing, that when I went back to work, and it was like, yeah, I need this time off. They were like, no, I'm going on the trip either way. So it was kind of like, it really started to like nag me that you put in so much time at work. You're giving them 40 hours to have 48 free hours on the weekends, and it was really trading the biggest part of my life, my free. It was like you were trading your freedom for this menial little paycheck that really wasn't anything. So when COVID hit, it was like, I'm never going back. I realized that I could make the money on my own. I really pushed myself out of my comfort zone, and I began to see I was making 3 and 4 times what I was making on the job, and I still had the freedom. So for me, it was really the freedom of it all.
Yes. Freedom.
That's
what it was for me. Also, freedom. I can't say that I ever thought I would be an entrepreneur. I don't think that was my goal. It just evolved that way. Not only freedom, but being a therapist and working in the mental health field, I noticed that there are a lot of politics around treatment for individuals, and not all agencies and organizations take that person-centered view or perspective. There's a lot of red tape that you have to go through when it comes to attempting to, meet a person where they are and adapt a particular treatment to them. It's like it has to be, doing it this way, and no, we can't do it until you talk to this person. It was too much for me, and I was like, what? I'm about tired of following rules, so because this person's treatment it's not a, treatment is not a one size fit all.
Right.
Everybody, you can have the same diagnosis and have 2 totally different treatments. I'm tired of that. Like, I'm tired of having to, wait and go through 100 people to get one particular thing. And so, yeah, that's kind of where it started for me. The freedom, the flexibility to like be able to do what I want to do, how I want to do it, and to really be able to advocate for people who require treatment and require it their way, right. And that's really it. Any jobs that I've had after that and now, because I'm still working, there has to be that freedom in place though. Yeah. Like, I cannot be somewhere where I still have to like ask for permission to be off. Right. I feel like asking for permission to be off and then telling you I'm not going to be here are 2 totally different things. And I'm fortunate enough at this point to be able to be like, I'm not going to be here XYZ, right, and put my out of office and go on about my business versus putting time in to get it approved. I will never do that again. And once somebody start putting that in place, it's time for me to I can no longer consult. It's it. I could be a consultant, but yeah, we not doing it. But it's interesting how the things that we experience in our lives kind of lead us, to certain decisions that we make, right, about our livelihood. You're women of color, entrepreneurs, business owners, have been in the game for some time in your respective industries. Why do you think it is challenging to engage other business owners, particularly other people of color business owners, when it comes to collaboration, working together, partnerships? There seems to be this air of competition. I have to get, more than you. We can't do this together. We're what are your thoughts on that and your experience with that, if you have any?
Systematic. And we have to rid ourselves of that systematic mindset. A lot of people don't even realize that like competitiveness is something that goes so far back in our history, and it's bred in us to compete and not collaborate, because we were separated. Oh, you're lighter, so you go in the house and you go in the field kind of mentality. Right. You know what I mean? And so we have not, and so we have this group of women who are like hard workers, and then we got this other group that's like soft life. You know what I mean? and one don't really see eye to eye with the other, and what we fail to realize is that we're all exactly the same. Yeah, it's really the mindset that separates us.
Right.
And then like collaboration really brings on more.
Yes.
So why not? Because I can learn from you, you can learn from me. So I love that collaboration part. I never was the type to be like, oh no, and this. But in my field, I definitely realize, why people do that, because they think that you will steal their customers, or you will, do better than them and all that stuff. But if you're gonna, like it's money out here for everybody.
Yes.
So why not, collaborate to build up your network, net worth. So that's just that. Like, people just scared that you might do more to them or something. I mean, that's just what it is. Yeah.
But we all can eat though.
We all can eat. We all can
it's
eat.
Enough.
We all.
It's more than enough.
Right.
Out here for everyone. And I agree with you 1,000%. We get so much more as a collective unit. We're missing unity in general. And I do think, and I'm appreciating more and educating myself more on what you're referencing, Tracy, about how far back this systemic issue is, this cultural issue is. I don't think I could have appreciated until just kind of being exposed and pursuing the knowledge myself as to how deep it runs from hundreds of years ago. It's still showing up, and I think it is on every level has always showed up. It just looks different at times. It takes on a different form, like racism, for example. Racism not new.
No.
As a matter of fact, listen, police brutality is not new. It has just taken on a different form. Right? The guns, of unfortunate killings by law enforcement, the guns have taken the place of the dog, so to speak. More than anything. And a number of other things. We can keep going. It just takes on a different form, but it's always been there. Always been there. So yeah, I mean, what would you consider to be your role in trying to eradicate that barrier? What are you doing?
Well, I can say in the industry that I am in, we have team building, so I'm in network marketing, so in there we do have that in place, and I always try to connect myself with like-minded people. I always tell them, listen, this is a team effort, so we are here to build up and not to take. So I have throughout the years have created a culture of teams, and then we become family. So when they get that mindset there, they go ahead and spread it out too. So that's what I've been doing.
I think the role that I play is upbuilding. I've learned in order to break down certain barriers that you have to build up first. And so I cultivate rooms and circles for women to get in together and to learn more about one another. If you come into a room with me, it's going to be all love. You know what I mean? And I've learned that it be loving or be nothing when they come into rooms with me. And it helps them to begin to relate to people that they would normally not talk to. Get into circles that you would normally not be around women that you would normally not choose as, your partner in certain rooms. That upbuilding and putting everybody in the same room and making everyone feel like somebody changes the whole culture of that, like, I'm gonna sit over there, y'all can have that right there kind of thing, so I really feel like the upbuilding part, the uplifting part kind of helps to break down those barriers.
Upbuilding, uplift. Yeah, I think it's important. I think even more sisterhood is important. Of course, when I talk of partnership and collaborations, I'm talking across the board with people of color. However, we cannot ignore the uniqueness and the importance of women of color. Forging a sisterhood. And I think, we have to learn that having a sisterhood, forging a relationship, so to speak, don't mean we gotta be besties. It doesn't mean that, we gotta break bread. It means mutual respect. Sometimes that's it. I see you, I hear you. Listen, how about I might not even like you. It's okay for me not to like you, because we know as humans, regardless, the respect has to be required. Respect is due to a dog at the end of the day. I mean, people treat their animals better than they treat each other, humans. So it's like, we really have to learn, and I continue to include myself in this because I'm growing into myself continuously, and and really just being able to say, hello, I can still speak and still go on about my business, and it be no malice, it be no ill will or intent. I don't want to see harm done to you, and if I see someone else harming you, even though I might not like you, I'm not going to let them. I'm just saying. I'm not going to let them jump you.
Wait,
You know what I mean?
Like, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Listen.
What? I'm about to say
Okay.
Can we all just get along?
I mean,
Don't break nothing.
listen, it's the truth,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, as women who have their own businesses, you work. Why is it this recurring theme of not getting rest in rest? What is it about that hustle mindset, that spirit of entrepreneurship, where I found myself working to death?
Yeah.
Why is it that we sometimes feel even guilty of rest?
Too much time being wasted, you know. It just seems like that. Well, time do go. Like, time doesn't stop. So I still have like so much stuff that I gotta do, and it's just like I can't stop. Like, literally, if I in the work field, if I stayed 3-4 hours past my time, came home, slept 4 or 5 hours after doing what I did as a wife and as a mom and all that, you know, and then sleep like 3 to 5 hours maybe, and then go into work to go in and do the same thing again. Why can't I do that for me? You know, so I was like, listen, I'm going to go ahead and put that same time in plus more into building what I need to build for me and mine. So I can't rest, you know, like I can't rest. And my son say this, like, mom, you need a vacation. Like, you know, yes, I do, you know, but in the meantime, you know, I got to do what I got to do. But your body that definitely says, hey, listen, sit down. You got to sit down. You got to sleep. You know, you got to rest. So for me right now, that's just what it is. So.
Okay.
My name is Tracy, and I'm in Hustle Cultures Anonymous.
Yes.
I am a reformed hustler. I no longer believe in that I'm not supposed to rest kind of thing. I turned in my car, and I'm going to tell y'all why. Because I realized that I was doing it wrong. I was doing it wrong. So when you go to work, you have a mandated 8 hours or 10-hour shift. And you have things to do within that allotted period of time, right? So my issue with being an entrepreneur is I was sleeping till 12, getting up at 12, doing whatever I wanted to do, and then I was working tirelessly throughout the day trying to get done whatever I needed to get done. I didn't have systems, I didn't have schedules, right? I didn't have structure. So now that I have structure in my life, I work my life like a job, so that because I'm gonna get adequate rest. I can't suffer burnout. It's not good for me mentally. So I definitely had to turn in that hustle culture card.
You are speaking my life right now. Read in me, because you're both read in my life, because at this point I'm a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I can't rest either. Like, it's so much I want to do. And, you know, Tracy will account to this. Like, and, you know, she's one of those people that will never tell you you can't do it. And has entertained absolutely everything.
And we gonna make it happen.
Right. And that's what she said. Some will call her an enabler. I'ma say she's a supporter. This is my sister.
Okay, I'm a cheerleader.
Okay. Not only a cheerleader, but show up, put in what you need.
Right.
However, I'm learning that rest is a requirement.
It's a requirement.
That structure is something I lack, and something I am building out, and I'm trying to transition into it. I was listening to a close colleague of mine. I had just recently, in the past month or so, sent me a sermon by Dr. Darius Daniels. And it was pretty much about, burnout in general. But one of the things he said that resonated with me the most was, he said, God created the universe in 6 days. And on the 7th day, he rested. He said he didn't rest because he was tired. He rested in order to sit in his creation.
Yes.
Dang, I did that. Look at that moon. That moon looked a bomb. I could just imagine him sitting wherever he was, wherever his being, and just leaning into what he's done.
Yeah.
And I was like, either he read me he already knew he was talking to me, he wrote this sermon for me, or I was just so convicted so much because I was like, I'm always thinking about the next thing. I always want to move forward.
Yes.
And at times, it has gotten me to a place where I have open projects that don't necessarily have closure or get solidified because I'm constantly being bombarded with different things. And I have to sit and lean into what I've already accomplished. It'll get done. I'll put it on the 2024 calendar, the 2025 calendar. However, I have yet to sit down and just reflect on what I've already done. Intention. When I say my season of intention, this is how I knew. Because all of it, a lot of things that was happening in my life across the board, professionally, personally, spiritual, they were all coming into each other. I'm like, what is like happening? And I've never been one of those individuals who, said God spoke to me. Like, I never understood when people said God spoke to me, what exactly did they mean by that? But I realized that because he's God, he speaks to you the way you understand.
Yeah.
How he speaks to you is way different than how he's going to speak to me, because I can't receive his message the way he's going to give it to you. But he knows how I need messages. And I just received clarity, like, oh snap, was that you, God? Say whatever it is you were saying to me, like you. Right. Because it just made sense, and I'm definitely on a path to rest. I'm on a path to structure. I'm on a path to balance. It's taking me time. Like I'm supposed to be on sabbatical right now, but I'm working, and it's all right. It's okay. I'm a work in progress. However, I have to be intentional about, if I'm not doing it today, I'm not doing it today. If I'm off today, for 2 years, I've had a Monday through Thursday schedule, and I still work Sunday through Saturday. Structure.
Yeah.
You can put the structure, but the execution, it means absolutely nothing. It's in my calendar, but I'm gonna just work, be like, whatever. So, yeah, I mean, you both make some amazing points. I think as rewarding as it can be to be an entrepreneur, there are still struggles. It's still challenges. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But I think growing in our, purpose, we start to refine certain things, which I think is great. So doing business as friends, what is your experience? Have you ever partnered with business friends of yours or even family, and had a business idea and it went wrong?
Well, I could say for me, always have ideas, but when I try to say it to certain people, well, in my family, they like, no, go ahead, like that is you. So a lot of them, they don't have that mindset that I have. So, but thinking back, I'm like, no, I shouldn't have tried to pull them into that because it would have went sour, you know. But as far as friends, I almost did a collaboration with 2 friends, and one of them we just could not see eye to eye on the certain structures of it. And that just made me realize, like, no, I can't go into certain business ventures with family and friends, you know.
Did that change the dynamic of your friendship?
No.
Okay.
No, it didn't. I just had to be like, look, you know, well, let me just say this. So it was supposed to be like split in 3. So one said, well, what if I do more work than you? And what if no, like, listen, we're going into business together. We got structure, and it ain't like you doing more work and you doing more work. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I said, no, let's like that. Yeah. But it's just, I'm glad I am doing it, you know, how I am doing it now. I do have like business owners in my family, but as far as like trying to get it together, like us, like, nah, right now it's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all my business partners. What are y'all talking about?
I mean, it's just we the minority.
Right. But
here's my truth. It has gone wrong. Because I am the kind of person, I want to see everybody on. And I feel like if we have something that is mutually beneficial, we should be able to work together.
Yes.
Right.
But what I found in working in that method is that just because you have something that might be mutually beneficial does not make you not a lead.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're going to have the same type of work ethic that I have.
Right.
So it has gone wrong, but in it going wrong, it's gone right because I learned the lesson of it all.
Right. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always thought about that. I think for me, outside of Tracy, I've never engaged in business with anybody else. I really don't trust anybody else to do so. Like, and I have trust issues, especially I'll own it, you know, I have trust issues. So it's very difficult for me to do that. I'll collaborate, I'll do those things, but when it comes to business partnerships, I'll probably not do that ever with anybody else outside of her for that particular reason. But I've had family and friends work for me, and that it has been a challenge. I actually, in the past 4 or 5 months, have made it a rule of mine, outside of the people that work for me right now that I have a personal relationship with, I will never hire family again. Not everyone can compartmentalize my business relationship to my personal relationship I have with you. And a lot of times it influences how you feel one way or another. And I started to notice that I'm pretty good with compartmentalizing. I'm sure at work, and then I'm your cousin. Right. Then I'm your, friend or whatever. And sometimes it's I think more than not very difficult for people to do that off and on. And I just found that it was better not to pursue it. But okay. Well, this is our mindful moment segment. I thought because we were talking about, entrepreneurship and business ownership, when we talk about that, it's really about, our dreams and our goals. And so, because I'm a therapist, I always use a lot of self-help tools and, books and journals and whatnot. And these are some Icebreaker Deeper Talk Best Self cards. This is not any form of I'm not getting paid for this. This is just one of the tools that I use for therapy. And they have cards in here that focus on dreams. It's all about dreams. So I'm going to have you pick a card and then you will answer the prompt.
When do you feel most alive?
Ooh.
This is such a hard question. So 2 things: when I'm traveling and when I am helping others is when I feel most alive. When I know that I am enriching the life of another person.
Yes.
And when I'm traveling.
Yes. The first one. The traveling for me. For sure. I mean, I like helping people, but.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where are you falling short of your potential?
Ooh.
Where are you falling short of your potential? Well, I can just say this for me. I've been asked a lot of times to go on, podcasts and do this and do that, come over here to a network and all this stuff. I shied away a lot, multiple times. I turned down a lot of stuff because they see my potential in things. So I just had to say, let me just step outside the box. So me saying yes to everything, right now, I have definitely come out of the box with this. My potential, I have been falling short, before with this. So this is like this really hit home, because I always shied away from trying to be on camera or and all. Yeah, so yeah. But I know that I have a lot to give, a lot to say, a lot to offer, so to help others. So that's
I agree. I am definitely a play behind the scenes person too. Of course, my end goal is radio. That's because you don't see me. This a visual podcast, but on radio you don't see me. Right. And so, but I've always played the back, and I too am trying to say yes more to different opportunities and things of that nature, to challenge myself, come outside that box of comfort. Be radical. Do something I didn't do. Thank you for saying yes to me.
Yes.
And this podcast, I appreciate it. So you did a survey when you came, right? The Lotus Well and Lotus Living, the podcast, and Lotus Well, my private practice, is all about living the best life that you can, as balanced as you can, and just surpassing existence to just living, being as well as you can. And we practice out of the 8 dimensions of wellness, and you both shared some areas that you wanted to focus on in order to create some balance within yourself and challenge some of those dimensions. And so normally on Lotus Living, the idea would have been for you to experience some form of wellness retreat-ish type spa-like situation. But instead, I wanted to do something a little bit more meaningful and purposeful based on those areas that you said that you wanted to focus on. So Maddie, one of the things that you mentioned was your physical dimension. And that, you wanted to be more consistent and, just being healthy and eating well and, exercising and just kind of living a life physically well. So, as a gift, I got you a workout basket.
Oh, thank you.
Right? Because sometimes we just need tools, right? We need tools to help us with our goals.
Thank you.
And here's the other part of it.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Hopefully,
don't make me cry.
This will help with creating the space. And sometimes it's just having certain things to motivate us.
Yeah.
You got the gym bag, you got the yoga mat, you good. All you gotta do now is execute.
Yes.
Right?
Thank you.
So, that's the least I can do for you, devoting your time with Lotus Living today, and just to show my wellness appreciation for you. And then Tracy, one of the dimensions you talked about was environmental, and you talked about being stuck with this idea of moving to another location, and kind of coming to terms with that and really kind of jumping into just changing your environment. So I got you a travel basket, a little housewarming basket.
All right.
For the new home, because we're speaking it into existence.
Yes.
We're speaking it into existence. The nut pillow for that for that travel, whether it be by plane, by bus, by train, by car. And some housewarming, things that you need for the new home to make it happen. Sometimes we just need a little bit of push to get it done. So every time you look at that, you open it up and you see those items, it's just to remind you that this is not your final stop. And the next stop, you have a starter kit for what you need to get there.
Thank you.
So I know, don't cry. Right. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry.
This is motivation.
But also, of course, this is Lotus Living. And it's all about luxury living and how to be well and sharing, our lived experiences on how we can do that and how we can do it together. So I also have $25 gift cards for you both to come back to the Lotus Well, apply it to any of the therapeutic services we offer, whether it be line dance, Zumba, yoga, massage therapy, right? Because we have that too. So that you can come and experience luxury wellness at its fullest. So thank you. Tell us what you got going on. Like, what does Tracy have going on? Shout your promotions, all that. What you got?
Okay. Ooh, child. What do I have going on? I have a lot of things going on. March of 2020, since I announced that Girl Secure Yourself is no longer Girl Secure Yourself, it's Unapologetically Woman, we are hosting our first Unapologetically Woman symposium. That'll be full of everything woman. We're going to tackle tough issues, infertility, life overall. And this is not just about women in their 30s, women in their 20s. This is about a woman at any age and at any stage. So that's for March of 2024. I did a thing yesterday, y'all. I brought a food trailer.
Oh, okay.
I believe if you know me, you know I really, really love dessert. And so it's going to be called Honey Child Love Vibes and Sweet Eats. And basically I want to serve like ice cream, and I have books, so I feel like that's a vibe to like come out, drop the trailer, and eat a sundae, share a sundae with your friends, things like that. So I am hoping to officially launch the trailer in February for my birthday. But
yes, I'm here for it. And listen, if you need people to work this trailer,
I do.
You know that I work with individuals with intellectual disabilities and who want employment exposure, and this would be so fun for them.
Yes.
I love trying to find fun things for the students to do, and who don't like ice cream unless you're lactose intolerant. We got that covered. So yes, that's awesome.
That's good.
Awesome. I'm so happy for you. Maddie, what you got going on?
So I am a newly mortgage loan officer.
Yes.
So and I am national. So we have lots of grants, lots of programs, lots of payment assistance, going on. If your credit is right, you can just come on in. Free services. I have free consultation too for credit. So that's what I got going on mainly, and I have a couple of things coming up. Okay. I don't want to say too soon because I got to take state boards. For them, but but anything home ownership, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. Also, business funding and credit too. So, got that.
Awesome. All of that sounds great. I'm looking forward to all of it. I'm sure I'll be able to experience everything that y'all. I'm here to support in any way I can because y'all always support me. In preparation for closing out this segment today, when I thought about the name of the podcast, Lotus Living, the lotus flower is truly like the foundation of my practice. Like everything surrounds the lotus flower. And it was important for me to define what lotus living is. What is lotus living? And I sat and pondered and defined it. And I know you've seen this definition in some of the correspondence that I've sent you, but I just want to say it out loud that lotus living is surpassing existence by intentionally creating and sustaining a well-balanced lifestyle, overcoming adversity, and contributing to the well-being of mankind while embracing the evolution of who you were meant to become. How are you going to apply this lotus living in your life? Who were you meant to become? How are you going to go forth today and live a lotus lifestyle?
For me, I love the idea of the lotus opening up, and that's one of my biggest things, is opening up to new things, not being afraid of failure, not being afraid of just jumping out there and trying, not being afraid of connecting to people. That's a big thing for me, is that opening up piece. You know what I mean? So that's the way that I want to apply the lotus living. And it's so funny you gave me this, because next Saturday I'm going to see houses in Maryland. So.
Look at that alignment.
Look at that.
Look at that alignment.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Same here. Like I have, like I said, like that whole potential piece, I am living to learn how to say yes. Just to go forth, and not to be like closed off, and to not to only do that, but I can't enjoy my wealthy living if I'm not healthy, physically,
Yes.
So this definitely had made my day. So I'm like, yes. But I am intentional now about living, so
Yes.
not only for me but for my family. So.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I cannot thank you ladies enough. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself today. Of course, I want you back, for another episode. But I appreciate you coming and spending your time with us. And that is Lotus Living for today. And we out.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,